By the time he woke up, there was a wife. So that he wouldn't say, it was tough to make you. We struggled. Because the heart, it was hard a bit, but we ended up softening it by putting the new one inside. So you find that men forget easily. If you have investments back home and you have a tenant, if they stay too long, if you want to take them out, they will fight you in court. That's how mankind is. When men, you know what happens sometimes? When somebody picks up a Bible, they think, this is not my Bible. And then they see the name that's written there, yeah? Then they say, okay, this belongs to Rosemary Chimbuya. And they'll say, okay, I'll give it to Rosemary Chimbuya. This is the Bible, somebody else's Bible, right? And then later on, you're looking for your Bible, you can't find it, but the Bible that day is Rosemary Chimbuya, that's one. So you use it for a little while. And then if you use it for too long, you end up... and then, you end up even thinking yourself, but in fact, by the end of a period, you'll even forget. By nature, you forget, you say, this is mine. I can't remember where I bought it, but you even tell yourself lies. That's how mankind is. You even think within your mind that this thing is mine. And you become delusional. You know how human beings can be. And so the Lord brought the tree in order that man would never forget who the real owner was. And you know how strategically they were made? God made it so strategically that men would never have access. It was closed up all around that side. Men would never have access to the tree of life without first passing this one. They had to pass and acknowledge God and then have access to the tree of life. Thus, he now had a covenant with God, and God being the provider. But if you were to take away the tree of life, let's sit down, the tree of knowledge, man would challenge God face to face. Can you see I'm in his face? So what do you want to say now? You see, he's even moving back. It's supposed to be God, and he's afraid now because I'm in his space. Man would challenge God and get into his space, like the devil did, and say, what? Because that's what the devil did. Man challenged God. I mean, not man, the devil challenged God. He said, no, I want to raise my... You read in Isaiah 14. I want to raise my throne. I want it to go up to the Most High. That's who I want to be. Not below. I want to challenge him. I want to have exactly what he has, and I want to tell him in his face that I'm like you. And what do you have to say about it? And then God said, okay, fine. If you want to challenge me, out, not in my kingdom. And that's why Lucifer was chased out. That's also why when man ate the tree, he was also chased out of the Garden of Eden. Because he had declared that I'm a God like you are a God. And God said, okay, fine, if you're a God, go look after yourself. You understand? And that's when tithing came in. To protect the relationship, again, between God and man. You understand? If you eat that tithe, you are now challenging God and saying, where is your sovereignty? I'm here also. This man is afraid of man. Do you understand that? Right, now, because of time. So that's where tithing came from. Tithing is simply made to give God his place. A covenant relationship between man and God. If you don't return tithe, you are simply declaring that I have my own sovereignty, I am my own God, and I eat my own sweat and blood. And no man has claim over what I own. And that's why in Malachi 3, verse 6, verse 7, the Lord says, you are far from me, come back. Come back. And they say, what do you mean we are far? I said, no. You are stealing from me. And so the covenant has been broken, and you are living in curse. Why don't you come back? Establish a covenant with me in tithes and offerings. I cannot go through that further. Any questions? question and answer session. Let's talk about this. The following day we talked about offering. And we talked about the hints that the Lord gave us. We also read from the Bible how much our offering should be. Let's have questions. Yes, ma'am. I'm glad you came back. Yeah. I want to hear the question. Please give her a microphone.
My question,
Yeah, we can hear you.
my question to do with offering.
Offering.
I know you mentioned the second tenth, which is the offering part of it. If someone have made a sacrifice, they are returning a faithful tithe, they are returning offering in the sense of taking care of the bill in the church. It might not have, that proportion haven't reached what we would call the second tenth, because it's not as much as the time. But in terms of using your second tenth, you give what is required of the church, but you use it for the support of other, say, relatives or friends that are in need.
Okay.
Is there an error in doing that?
Okay, very good question. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 17 and 18. We'll also find an answer in Deuteronomy chapter 14, verses 22 to 29. We'll also find an answer in Deuteronomy 26. Where's Anna? Oh, there she is. We'll also find it in Deuteronomy 26 from verse 12. I want you to see something that especially Deuteronomy 26, but I'll start with Deuteronomy 12, 17 and 18. There's a specific instruction that the Lord gives there. He says something very specific. First with 17, and then he says where you should eat it in 18. I want you to read 17, please.
Thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of thy corn, or of thy wine, or of thy oil, or the firstlings of thy herds, or of thy flock, nor any of thy vows which thou vowest, nor thy freewill offerings, or heave offering of thine hand. But thou must eat them before the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, thou, and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God in all that thou puttest thine hands unto.
Did you understand the instruction? It says thou should not what? Verse 17. Thou should not what? Eat where? Within thy gates. Don't eat that tithe. But eat it where? In the place that the Lord has placed his hand. But you will find that there are two verses that say the same thing. Don't eat it at home, but eat it in the place that the Lord has placed his hand. So what Israel used to do, they had a 3-year principle. If you go to Deuteronomy 14, if you start from verse 27, you will find that Moses wrote Deuteronomy. He was saying in the 3rd year, you would eat the tithe with the following people. After 3 years, you can read it, man.
And the Levite that is within thy gates,
Yes.
thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee.
Sorry, 28.
At the end of 3 years,
At the end of 3 years.
thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase the same year,
Yes.
and shalt lay it up within thy gates.
Right. Now, I want you to also go to Deuteronomy 26, verse 12 to 15, and then we will address the question. Deuteronomy, I want you to see another 3-year principle here. Now, what Israel used to do is they had a 3-year tithing principle. Deuteronomy 26, verse 12.
When thou hast made an end of tithing
Now,
all the tithes.
Sorry, before you go further, I want you to listen to the specific words used by Moses here in this particular one, and what he calls that tithe. Yeah?
When thou hast made an end of tithing all the tithes of thine increase the 3rd year.
All the tithes, okay?
Which is the year of tithing.
In the 3rd year again. It's the 3rd year now. Okay, let's go.
And hast given it unto the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that they may eat within thy gates and be filled.
Right.
Then thou shalt say before the Lord thy God,
Listen to the words.
I have brought away the hallowed things
Out of my house.
and
And
also have given them unto the Levite, and unto the stranger, fatherless, widow,
Yes.
according to all thy commandments which thou hast commanded me. I have not transgressed thy commandments, neither have I forgotten them.
I want you to wait there, don't change that frame. I want you to see what the Lord here is saying. Offering is also hallowed. Did you know? Do you agree? Yeah. It is also hallowed. And that's why the Lord says you're stealing tithes and offerings. You're robbing me in tithes and offerings. It's also hallowed. Let's go.
I have not eaten thereof in my mourning, neither have I taken away aught thereof for any unclean use, nor given aught thereof for the dead. But I have hearkened to the voice of the Lord my God, and have done according to all that thou hast commanded me. Look down from thy holy habitation, from heaven, and bless thy people Israel, and the land which thou hast given us. And as thou swearest unto our fathers, a land that floweth with milk and honey.
Now, what Moses is saying there is, he's saying, Lord, I've done this. I've brought all the tithes. I've given to the Levite. There's a tithe for the Levite. I've given to the fatherless, to the stranger. All the hallowed are out of my house. I've not even touched them when I was not well. When I was ill, I didn't touch them. When I had a funeral, I didn't touch them. So now, Lord, you do your part of that mine. Now, your question is a very, very good one. Now, Israel used to do this. First year, they'll take the tithes to the church. Like what 12 said. Don't eat them at home. Second year, to the church. Third year, in your home. Because the Lord realized that people in their homes have the sick. And also, he wanted people around your community to know that a man of God lives in this area and where to find the man of God. Because every third year, they'll come and eat that in your house, these tithes. The conference, however, has not given us the general conference has not given us the 3-year principle. Because, you know what, if we were to be all independent givers, and I'd say, I've got my poor, people would be doing their own work, and the church as a body would not have any money to distribute to the poor. And that means that we have incapacitated the church. We have made it so that the church has no money to do welfare ministry, because everyone is distributing their own. Are you understanding me? It's like what I was saying the other day, that we have rich members, but we have a very poor church. When the church is looking for a welfare fund, there's nothing. Why? Everyone has done their own distribution. But what about the church? It's got no money even for rent. It's got no money to even do coordinated welfare movement. So, what I learned over the years, what I used to do, in fact, over the years, I used to bring tithe and then calculate what I've distributed and then deduct the second tithe. But I learned I was robbing myself. So what in the end I ended up doing, I would go and take the tithe to the church. I would take the